What's up, folks? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Terra along with Bitcoin just being Bitcoin. Yeah, very weird move. Well, one rough half an hour in a really positive day. Um, so before I get into that, as always, I update my spreadsheet, just the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel that I thought would smash it in this bull cycle. Had you invested $100 to each one when I release the videos and you're still holding those bags, you'll be in profit for $67,300. Adding the 2,600 you've invested, you'd be sitting on 69,900. Not bad. Hold them all and close positions on them all and reinvest into new cryptos if you want to see what I'm in. You can check out Copy My Crypto, where I share my portfolio, one that keeps outperforming the market. My biggest holdings have had some explosive gains and are primed for more. One thing I keep reiterating is if you are new to crypto in particular, this feels like it can last forever. Bull cycles don't. They just simply don't. There will be a bear cycle. So bank profits along the way. You are not going to get out at the top of the market. So few people do. You know, 1 in a million. And anyone that's telling you that they did is generally full of shit. And what you've got to do is stay in the market. You know, when the bear cycle kicks in, now you've banked all that profit or been banking along the way. You can use that to reinvest into the market in the bear cycle. You can stagger your investments over a couple of years and you can build awesome positions in great coins that are hugely undervalued. All I do during the bear cycle is find those coins hugely undervalued, like Phantom, which is up 412 times from the bear cycle when I found it, and invest. And I'll share those gems with the Copy My Crypto members, so if you want to be a part of it, you can check it out. Right, before I get into Terra, Bitcoin being Bitcoin. So it was a really positive day actually. From about 9 a.m. 9:30 a.m. we just saw really good positive momentum. Just positive momentum. Even up till 3 o'clock, you know, all the way up to 59k by the end of half three. And then at the start of half three to 4 o'clock, boom, we had a candle that was just brutal. And I think that only works out at about a 3% drop. It's not tons. Yeah, 3%. 3.07. But in the world of Bitcoin, in 30 minutes, that effect is felt across the rest of the market. It does look like it's in its process of recovering it at the moment. But for Bitcoin, fundamentally, there's a key sort of area here, a resistance that we're looking at. So if we look at even just the last few days, really, we're seeing that there's quite a level of resistance just around this line here of 59,000, sort of $21, around 59k. As you can see, on the 25th of November, resistance met at that line. Straight away rejected at that line on the 26th of November. 29th of November, hit the line, rejected. And today, hit the line. That's a tiny bit, exceeded the line, rejected so far. There are still 5 and nearly 6 hours of the day left. So it is feasible the Bitcoin breaks through that line of resistance. But once it does, we should see a catapult in the positive for Bitcoin. But yeah, it looked, like I say, by half three, it looked like we were there. But that meant American markets had only been open for like, I don't know, an hour. Usually takes an hour or two for the American markets to really find its footing. So there was pretty good momentum for that first sort of hour of the American markets being open, and then boom, straight away, we saw the effects. And if you actually stagger it even on the charts to 5-minute intervals, what you can see is it was pretty much a steady sell-off. Yeah, the last 15 minutes were a lot worse, but there was a fairly steady sell-off in that half an hour. So what we're going to do with Bitcoin really is just wait and see how this plays out. But right now, whether it's the 12-hour chart or the daily, the line of resistance still remains here. So once it breaks through 59k and has the daily close above it, we should see Bitcoin pushing for that moon mission, which obviously has a really good impact on the overall crypto market. But we'll see how that plays. No. Right now, again, it looks like it's going through a period of rejection after the last half hour of doing decent or the last hour and a half of decent accumulation. So we'll see again. Yeah. Anyway, Terra. So Terra, interesting one. Terra is obviously all about programmable money for the internet. To spend, save, and stake like never before. Terra is a public blockchain protocol deploying a suite of algorithmic decentralized stablecoins which underpin a thriving ecosystem that brings DeFi to the masses. Their ecosystem is booming. Now, one thing I will point out, they have stated it's the fastest growing ecosystem in crypto with 100+ projects. I think technically Solana is presently the most active. But they are obviously doing pretty well. They've got their leading stablecoin, which is UST. Their smart contracts platform is thriving along with their DeFi environment. What you can see in terms of the actual amount of venture capital firms that have Terra in their portfolio. You've got Coinbase Ventures, you've got Binance Labs, Solana, Arrington XRP Capital, Hashkey Capital, Kinetic Capital, Huobi, Pantera. Pretty good, right? And the Terra ecosystem is, without shadow of a doubt, been exploding. You can't argue it. Definitely seeing a lot of movement there. Now, one thing I'll point out, in terms of market cap for the actual ecosystem, really, almost the entire value of the market cap comes from Terra itself and the Terra's USD stablecoin. That literally equates to 30 billion of a 31 billion market cap. So the remaining 1.3 billion of that market cap are staggered around a number of different cryptos. Although I will, again, I mean, this is not at all complete, is it? Quite clearly. But CoinMarketCap really is. Anyway, Terra right now, when we actually expand and we look at the ecosystem, it is growing. I mean, you can see they've got Pylon Protocol, which is one of their launch pads. Terra Swap. Yeah, I mean, there's a few decent ones. Prism is one that I've had a look at a few times. It's quite an interesting one. But a lot of these right now, low caps. Not seeing any that jump out at me as huge market caps within Nexus protocol. I don't think it's bad. Or am I getting it? I think I'm getting it confused with Nexus Mutual. I am. Brain. Yeah. But yeah, none are like exploding right now, and it's something worth being aware of is that fundamentally, when you're looking at a growing ecosystem, you do want to see a decent amount of value coming out of other projects within the ecosystem, not just the main one. You know, case in point, if you look at Solana's ecosystem, there's quite a bit of value coming out of other elements of Solana. Same with Phantom, same with Binance. I mean, Binance there's so much launched on Binance, to be fair. But that's worth mentioning because you do want to keep an eye on that, because actually quality of project matters, or success of projects matter. You know, when you're looking at an ecosystem going, oh, well, what else is gonna build on it? Well, if there's not a lot of projects having huge success, I would point out that there's probably not going to be a lot of projects launching, or not great quality projects launching on it. In terms of staking for Terra, which you can do, is about 6% per year, which is nothing to write home about, even when compound. I think it's 6.42% is what I saw. Even when compounding, I think that only runs it up to about 6.66 per year. However, if Terra retraces dramatically during the bear cycle, you know, that's when you stake. You know, bear cycle is a wonderful time to stake, because if your plan is to build positions, then stake, earn more. Especially if you've got a vision of going, oh, I'm going to sell this in 2 years, then that's when you stake like mad on anything that you have a long-term perspective on. That is stakeable, obviously. But yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, so key ones that they've been talking about in Mirror Protocol, which is the synthetic asset protocol, Pylon protocol, which is principal protected investments payments, and savings as a service, the Anchor protocol. But the key thing with regards to Terra is the payment solution. So the whole protocol is utilizing fiat-pegged stablecoins. The whole idea being to power price-stable global payment systems. In January 2018, Terra began, and its official mainnet was launched in April of 2019. 2021 was when it offered stablecoins pegged to the US dollar, the South Korean won, Mongolian tugrik, and the IMF's special drawing rights basket of currencies. The actual native token is simply used to stabilize the price of the protocol's stablecoins. So Luna holders are also able to submit and vote on governance proposals, giving it the functionality of a governance token, along with obviously staking, as I said earlier. Two men that founded the project, Daniel Shin and Do Kwon, did so based on the rapid adoption of blockchain tech. Their focus was on price stability and usability. Kwon took on the position of CEO of Terraform Labs. Prior to that, he headed Ticket Monster. Prior to developing Terra, Shin headed Ticket Monster, otherwise known as Tmon, which is a major South Korean e-commerce platform. He also co-founded Fast Tracked Asia, which is a startup incubator working with entrepreneurs. Kwon previously founded and served as CEO of Anify, which is a startup providing decentralized wireless mesh networking, and also works as a software engineer for Microsoft and Apple. So these guys are legitimate, got great background. The Terra Alliance, to be fair, are a group of businesses and platforms advocating for the adoption of Terra. In February of 2019, the company announced that e-commerce platforms from 10 different countries were members of the alliance. Now, this is something that you want to see more of, especially over the course of the next couple of years, is you want to see growth in the amount of effectively e-commerce platforms that will accept Terra. Here are the Terra Alliance members, or some of the members. There's obviously expanded since. But as you can see, global partners include industry leaders who have become essential parts of everyday life in Asia. And some of these everyone will have heard of for sure. Megabox is a huge entertainment platform. Tmon, Tiki in particular. But all of these, I mean, across these, the net value of these is $25 billion. And again, customer base of 45 million people. Now, like I said with Terra, that something like that is great to see. You do want to see onboarding of massive businesses, particularly when your whole when the biggest premise behind what you're doing is a global payments solution. So you do want to see more of these. Now, what you want to start seeing as well, in particular, are more Western-based corporations that are getting involved now as well, because adoption is going to be wider reaching, particularly when you're seeing the adoption in America. Let's be realistic, America moves the markets the most. So that's what we'd want to see for Terra, is massive e-commerce platforms in America that start adopting the Luna token, or Terra in general. Now, in terms of what Terra can do over the course of time, the concern would be the lack of adoption. Like, one thing that we do see, and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing, but like as an example, Nano from the last bull cycle was a very valid payments solution, and one that fundamentally, it's a DAG network, it's very fast, it's a good, it's a genuinely, it was a good crypto, it's free to move, it was brilliant, right? Downside, however, is it hasn't really been adopted. There's been a few, it's a couple hundred companies and stuff, but really small businesses that take Nano as payment. But when you look at the price accumulation of Nano over this past cycle, it's been pretty piss poor. I think Nano's like one of the lowest points Nano was at was about 90 cents, 70 cents maybe. And its price right now is like $4.93. Where is it? Nano. Yeah, so when I spoke about it, it was at 98 cents. I'm sure it dipped lower than that, but generally, it's not actually been picked up. And my concern with payments systems in general is I think CBDCs come out, and I think there's going to be more limited scope on these kind of systems, because also it depends on the company's prerogative, but concerns for companies are generally going to be, why would I take a payment of something that fluctuates in price when I can just get a stablecoin? And that's something. Now, to be fair, Terra has their own TUSD, so that is probably what they would accept as payment solutions, right? And Terra is the Luna token is actually what backs the system. So that might be a pretty shit comparison, really, when I'm talking about it. But payment systems, what concerns me in general, like I said, is CBDCs are inevitable, are absolutely inevitable. So when they come out, why is there going to be a need for alternative payment solutions? Not why is there going to be a need, there'll always be a need, but but I think the alternative payment solutions will struggle to battle with CBDCs. I just think they will. Doesn't mean they all will. Terra is legit. It's a proper blockchain that's already effectively cross compatible with multiple different blockchains. They've got a bridge to link it to multiple blockchains. There's a lot to like about Terra. I'm not dissing it, but what I'm saying is, for the last year or so in particular, I've been I'm somewhat reserved about the potential for payment solutions, because I think they're going to get crushed when CBDCs begin. What Terra does have going for it is that its DeFi situation is awesome. And if they can get up and running for their DeFi up and running with multiple top tier services on it, then it's going to be around for a very long time. And I think this will be around for a very long time. This cycle, it's got a lot of momentum behind it. And if we actually look at the past, year, really, in the past year, it's done about 200x. It's pretty good. It's pretty bloody good. So what can it do from here? I think it would probably be able to double from where it's at. If it doubles where it's at the very least, it would have a market cap of 44 billion. That seems well and truly achievable, given that it's already done 200x. Why can't it double from where it is? So I would think, yeah, 100. To be honest, $150 is probably its target point really for this cycle. But which would give it, about about 60, less than 60 billion, but like 57 billion market cap or thereabouts. Which is it's doable. That is definitely doable. But this is one again. I think this could suffer a lot of price correction during the bear. That would be this is probably not a position I'd be jumping in on in this cycle now. I'd probably be looking to jumping on this in a bear cycle after a significant retracement. Like I said, you could stake it. I know the staking is not going to change your life, but you could probably get a pretty decent position in place in anticipation of the upcoming bull cycle. Because make no mistake about it, it's good, but like I said, I've seen coins like Nano hit 36, 38, whatever, pretty high dollars marks, and now it can't get past sort of $6, struggling. So yeah, be one for me for the bear cycle. I don't think I'd touch it in the bull cycle. And obviously, it's not financial advice; it's just a perspective. But yeah, I think in the bear cycle, this is a good one. Yeah, if you're new to crypto, you can check out Copy My Crypto. Like I said, it's where I share my portfolio. My portfolio keeps outperforming the market. If you want to be part of that, then you can check it out. One important thing, guys, just bank profits along the way. In this cycle, just bank profits along the way. Because the bull cycle won't last forever. If you're new to this, you probably think this is going to keep going and going and going. I think we've got 3 months out maximum before a bear cycle starts. I might be wrong, but I don't think we've got tons of time left before a bear cycle. So please just bank your profits, you sleep better. And then you can stay in the market when the bear cycle kicks in. Build positions, stagger your investments across a couple of years, build positions, and make those investments that can change your life. That's the aim of the game. Anyway, that's it for me. Take care. Bye-bye.